Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Stafford Springs, Connecticut. We're at the Stafford Motor Speedway for tonight's running of the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Division. I'm upside down. Alongside me is my good buddy Kelly Dahl. And Kelly, we are made it to the Great Northeast on a very tricky and difficult track to get around.
Yeah, definitely a tough track here tonight, but a lot of these drivers putting down some very quick times. I mean, we're looking in the practice, it's already very tight between the top 5 or 6 cars, so we are going to have another dogfight here tonight, I'm sure.
It definitely will, and we would like to thank you for coming on down. We also would like to thank our title sponsor, which is Renu Sealcoating, who has been in the seal coating business for over 75 years of combined asphalt expertise. They treat every customer like family and stand by their work every time. Whether it's your home driveway, a mega store, a parking lot, Renu Sealcoating has you covered. Call them today at 608-576-7897 or visit them online at renewsealcoating.com for a quote today. I also like to thank Wizards Designs. Wizards Designs is where your creativity meets craftsmanship. They've proudly designed the North-South Racing League's awards and championship trophies for the last 2 seasons running. You can check out their amazing work at facebook.com/Witco23. That's WITKO23. Or you can reach out to David Witkowski at yahoo.com to bring your ideas to life. Austin Designs, also a proud sponsor of the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Division, and you can catch his eye-catching designs right here on the racetrack tonight and every night here in the North-South Racing League. Several drivers sporting his incredible designs. Reach on out to Scott Austin on Facebook for pricing inquiries and let him take your iRacing look to the next level. Mad Plowing gets the job done fast and efficiently, serving Oregon, Wisconsin, and the surrounding areas. They're their trusted name for all your landscaping needs. Call them today at 608-217-3528 and let Mad Plowing show you the meaning of speed. RC2 Graphic Solutions is your go-to source for professional graphic design specializing in the racing industry. From season schedules and event flyers to winter graphics and social media content, they deliver high-quality designs to make your league or event stand out. Need custom graphics? Not a problem. Contact them today at RC2 Graphic Solutions at gmail.com or visit them on Facebook at facebook.com/RC2 Graphic Solutions. RC2 Graphic Solutions, your events, our designs. And we'd like to thank ZooFab Garages as they will be our post-race show a little bit later on tonight's broadcast, Kelly. But taking a look last week, we had Randy Nichols pick up a thrilling race at the Darlington Raceway. We know we both headed down to Darlington and not really knowing what we were going to see with the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series. And it was really a great race all night long, and Randy Nichols able to put the 69 Cintas into victory lane.
Yeah, we had gone into Darlington not knowing what to expect. It's not really a track that you see late model stocks run on, but ended up being a fantastic race and came down right to it. But yeah, as you mentioned, that number 69 car kind of ran away with it, but now tonight he is going to have to start from the back. And as you mentioned, Stafford is a tough track. It's probably going to be pretty much just one lane around here, as it's a very flat track, and that lane is practically going to be below the white line almost. You kind of want to dip 2 tires down there, use that slight difference in banking to try to hook the car around, and it's going to force these drivers to make some interesting moves to be able to make any sort of passes work here tonight.
It definitely will, and Stafford and Randy's going to have to come from the back of the pack, which right now 23 cars have unloaded to put on a great show for you here this evening. We would like to say the hard charger from 1 week ago was the Chad McLeod in the Renu Sealcoating Chevrolet. He was a hard charger at last week's race, finishing started the field in the 24th and worked his way forward 10 spots, come home 14th place last week at Darlington Raceway. Coming up in just a few moments will be our Mad Plowing qualifying session, but before we take a look at that or get into that, let's take a look at tonight's race info. This is round 3 of 15th here for the race, and it is going to be at Stafford Connecticut, 125 laps or 62.5 miles. Or I'm not really sure how to do the quick math on the kilometers for you, Kelly, but we'll stick it with miles. They have one extra set of tires in the pits and a full fuel there. They've had 2 races here, all street stocks, and caution per race average is just 1. So we'll set a new track record here tonight, and most wins, both split by Randy Johnson and Dante Curtis. So we should have a good race here tonight. And as we take a look at the points headed into tonight, we got a tie atop of the top for the top spot between Bryan Hacker and Guillaume Fortin.
Yeah, tie early on here after 2 races, and I'm not too surprised which drivers are tied. Those 2 are both very quick guys, but one driver I'm kind of keeping an eye on to maybe make a comeback later on here is Dylan Connor. I mean, he's been one of the fastest drivers in qualifying both times here, and he has not been able to turn that into a result. Last week, getting caught up in an early accident that really was just wrong place, wrong time. So I would expect the 90 car of Dylan Connor to maybe start making some good, if he can start stringing along some good finishes here, he might be able to get himself in contention.
Yeah, always has a fast car. The redraw, the RC2 graphic solution redraw, has not been overly kind to the driver of the number 90, but he is fastest here tonight so far in practice, as we show you those lap times with 30 seconds left in practice. And Connor just edging out Guillaume Fortin and Bryan Hacker, Donitson and Campbell, your top 5 in practice. And that's only a 1 lap fast lap there. That's not an average or anything like that factored in there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this 125 lap race, Kelly. And you can see in this practice session the marbles all the way around this racetrack, that what has accumulated has been quite a lot. So it's going to be interesting, if we don't get any yellow flags, how that marbles is going to play out in tonight's race.
Yeah, the marbles will be swept up anytime we do have a caution, but it'll just restrict that outer line even more than we're already expecting it to be. So these drivers are just going to be hunting for that bottom lane, and I'd expect on the anytime we come to the choose cone, a lot of these drivers are going to be diving to that bottom side.
And right now the car is getting lined up on pit road for tonight's Mad Plowing Fast Time Award, and it's going to be a new track record here tonight when that happens here tonight, as we get into qualifying for the Nutmeg State 125 is the Mad Plowing Fast Time pole session up on the racetrack, and the first car out onto the racetrack is the number 9 of Josh Cole. So Josh Cole up onto the racetrack, try to put his fast time in. Remember, top 8 cars, potentially top 9. If Randy Nichols qualifies inside the top 8, will make it into tonight's RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw. As we watch Mr. Cole come up off of turn number 4 and at the line, lap number 1 in the books for Cole with a 19.91.
Oh, Randy Nichols immediately jumping him with a very quick time with a 19.812. We saw drivers get down into the 7s during practice. We'll have to see if these guys can do the same in qualifying. Travis Heffler also up on the board. Scott Negus, though, with a 19.806, so he moves up to the top.
Yeah, Negus with that tilt load number 55 at the top of the spread with a new track record so far here in Mad Plowing Fast Time qualifying is now Chad McLeod out there with a Renu Sealcoating 93, trying to put in a time up off the corner. And McLeod is going to go 12th quickest so far with a 20.16. Dustin Shepard in the Zufab Garage Camaro rolling down the backstretch.
Yeah, so you watch this 89 car here as he comes off of turn number 4. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. It seems like the first lap is the fastest lap, so he is going to go up there into the top 5 for Justin Shepard. So a 19.870, still not quite able to get up to what that 55 car of Negas is doing. He's going to try going for a second lap here, but so far I've seen every... Oh, no, actually he gets loose off of 4, so that is not going to count pretty much for anything.
Yeah, tough break for Shepard, but certainly in 5th spot is John Cross. In the number 10, we'll go 8th quick, is now Adam Gable up onto the racetrack with the Austin Designs on time 91. See what kind of lap time he gets put in there. Still about 2 handfuls worth of drivers left to put their time in here tonight in qualifying, with just about 1:50 left to go. Adam Gable's first lap, 14th quick.
We got Rodney Huntoon in the 12 now, coming through turns 3 and 4 in the end of his first lap here. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Seemed like it wasn't quite so good coming off of turn number 4, but it is going to be enough to get him into that top 8 for the time being. He's up into 6th with a 19.906.
Philip Martin will be the next car on the racetrack that's going to come put a lap in as he hits turns 3 and 4 on his first of 2 flyers in the Weltmeyer Enterprises number 46. Up off the corner, a little bit loose, and Martin going to go 8th quick with a 19.91. 19.91. 8th quick for Philip Martin. Is now everyone on the racetrack. Scott Austin in that finish line number 5 will come through turns 3 and 4 to put lap in the books. And Guillaume Fortin, a very slow first lap, Kelly.
Yeah, I looked over at him right as he was finishing up his first lap, and it looked like he was diamonding off turn 4, so it seemed like he's trying to go for his second lap being the fast lap, and oh, it is going to work for him. Just as Brian Hacker had put up a fast time, Guillaume Fortin is going to jump him by just a couple thousandths of a second. 19.764 for the driver of the 13 QC.
And the fastest driver so far in mad plowing competition for qualifying on the racetrack now. He's going to set a new track record with a 19.65 for Dylan Connor. Your Fast Time Award here tonight for the Mad Plowing Fast Time qualifying session going to be coming to an end. And Kelly, no surprise there that he ends up being our Fast Time Award winner. So congratulations to Dylan Connor. As now we will head into the RC2 Racing Graphics redraw coming right up. Yeah,
a nice solid top 8 here tonight. So we are going to go through this redraw, and if you haven't joined us before, we're going to get these drivers in order of their qualifying. They're going to pick a number between 1 and 8, and on that number is going to be the position they start. So we'll see what these guys are going to get mixed up here. I'm sure Dylan Connor is going to hope for a good starting spot here tonight to go along with a 3rd Fast Time Award.
Yeah, I mean, 3 Fast Time Awards. Maybe this will be the lucky number 3 as everyone starts to get populated. And we'll get started, Kelly, with the fastest driver once again here for the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series. Congratulations on your 3rd Mad Plowing Fast Time Award, Dylan. Maybe the 3rd time will get you some good results here. You've had a fast race car, just lady luck not on your side so far this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just hoping to run all the laps tonight. I was kind of disappointed last week. Felt like I had a good piece, but just hoping to make it at least 2 laps tonight.
Well, we got 125 laps here at Stafford. It's going to be fairly tricky. What's going to take to not get yourself in trouble here at Stafford?
I think tire conservation is going to be big. I think it's going to tighten up the longer you run, especially with the track temp cooling. But also you can kind of mess yourself up on the flat here, so it's just going to be a fine line all night long.
All right, well, you got the pick of the litter 1 through 8 for yourself. What number would you like to draw out of the hat?
I'm going to go with 5.
Go with number 5. So number 5 going to get crossed off the board, and it is going to be P4. So outside row number 2. Outside starting spot, good or bad, do you think?
Probably not the best on the start, but just like I said, just try to get down. It's going to be a patience game anyway, so like I said, just hoping to make all the laps tonight.
Well, congratulations for making the RC2 Graphic Solutions and being the Mad Plowing Fast Time Award winner for the 3rd week running. We hopefully be talking to you here at the end of this one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dylan Connor going to start P number 4. Kelly, as you've caught up with Guillaume Fortin.
Yeah, here now with Guillaume Fortin, and Guillaume, looks like you had found something in qualifying that only a few other drivers spotted. A lot of drivers were going for the fast time on their first lap, but you decided to build up and use your second lap as your flyer.
Yeah, I found that speed in practice doing a long run. Seemed like the car handled really well with hot tires, so I tried this and it worked.
All right, well, the number 5 was already taken off the board. Other than that, the choice is yours. What number do we want to take tonight?
I'll go again with number 1. It's been great so far.
Well, number 1 had been good for you so far, but tonight it is going to be number 7. So towards the back. However, you are going to be starting on the inside. Do you think that's going to be a big advantage here tonight?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's pretty much bottom dominant up here, so I like my starting spot.
All right, well, good luck to you, Guillaume. Hopefully we'll be talking to you later on.
Thank you, yeah, hopefully.
So that's Guillaume Fortin starting all the way back in P7, but if one driver's going to have the speed to get to the front, it's going to be him. But now we're going to move on to another one of our fast guys, and Al's caught up with Bryan Hacker.
Yeah, caught up with our co-points leader, Bryan Hacker, as Guillaume Fortin just drew the number, or asked for the number 1, but drew P number 7, so the pole is still out there. But how tricky and how difficult is this racetrack as far as being line sensitive here at Stafford?
It's definitely line sensitive. I like it because it's pretty technical. It's not one of these tracks that you can just let it hang out and rip around. You got to kind of be strategic about where your car is at and where you're letting off and where you're getting back on it. So I like those kind of tracks, which is probably why I picked it for the schedule.
Well, you picked a good one. This is one of my favorite tracks. Also, really looking forward to this one. Well, the hard choice for you now. You got 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, or 8 to choose from. Which one would you like to choose out of the hat?
Well, picking my own number never works, so we're gonna pick number 2.
Number 2. Number 2 coming off the board, and he pulls it up, and it is the pole for tonight's race. So Guillaume, Bryan, you're gonna start on the pole with your points battle that you came in here tied with. Is going to be starting in P number 7. Are you worried about points here only 3 weeks in?
I mean, a little bit. We're always racing for points, but yeah, we'll kind of let it shake out as we get closer to the end of the season. So just trying to put a good run together, and if we can get a win, that's even better.
Well, good luck here in tonight's race. Starting from the pole is going to be a good shot in the arm, and we look forward to hopefully talking to you at the end of 125 laps. Best of luck here tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Bryan Hacker going to grab the pole, Kelly, and that could be trouble for tonight's field.
Yeah, but we're going to keep moving along here. Time is running out in our warm-up, so we're going to keep moving on, and we're going to go talk to Matt Hackathorn, our 4th fastest driver here tonight. And Matt, let's see, what do we got on the board? We have got 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 left to choose. Unfortunately, the pole has already been taken, but still a few good starting spots left out there. What number would you like here tonight?
Well, I'm in the 0-4, starting 4th, so I might as well go for the trifecta and go for 4.
All right, taking number 4. Unfortunately, that is going to be all the way back in P8, starting on the outside of row 4, and it's sounding like it is going to be a fight to get to the bottom here tonight. So what's your plan to get to the front?
Probably just do what I normally do, let everyone else go out there and race, and try to find a little spot to save some tires, and when everyone else starts burning them off, I'll start moving then. Hopefully this week, body damage won't matter as much as it did at Darlington, but hopefully end up there at the front at the end of the race.
All right, well, let's see if you can play the long game, and we'll see if we'll talk to you later tonight. Good luck to you, Matt.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, so Matt Hackathorn draws the unlucky number, and he will be starting at the back.
Another driver that qualified with his car number, the number 5 of Scott Austin, making the RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw. You got 4 numbers left to choose from. Outside pole is still available. Pole has already been taken. You got 3, 6, 7, or 8 to choose from. We'll get the choosing done, and we'll ask you a question.
Let's do 7.
7 going to be crossed off the board, and 7 is going to be P6. So outside, row number 3. Outside going to be pretty tough there on this start. Do you think it's going to have some grip where you'll be able to get into single file there ride?
People depend on the apron, doesn't really put you in the marbles too much, so we'll just bide our time, bide our tires, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
Well, we wish you the best of luck here tonight, Scott. You got a fast hot rod once again making it into the redraw. Congratulations on that. We'll hopefully be talking to you here at the end of this one at 125 laps.
Thanks, you guys.
There you go, Scott Austin going to roll off P number 6, Kelly. And I believe you've caught up with Philip Martin. Or Scott. Nope. Told you the wrong one. Scott Negus. There we go. There you go, Kelly.
All right, I am here with Scott after we sorting things out here. And Scott, unfortunately, pole has been taken, but good news for you, a lot of the spots in the back have also been taken. So the positions still open are 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, and your numbers are 3, 6, and 8. What do you want here tonight?
Let's go with 6.
All right, 6 coming off the board, and good news is you'll be starting on the inside, but you'll be starting back in P5.
That's fine. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're just happy with starting on the inside. Is that right?
You're 100% correct.
All right, yeah, it sounds like everyone's going to be fighting for the bottom, but you get to start there right off the bat, so good luck to you, and hopefully you can maybe turn that into a good finishing position here tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, so that was driving the number 55, Scott Negus, and he'll be starting in P5 here tonight.
He sure will be. Now we'll get to talk to Mr. Philip Martin and qualifying inside the RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw. I got some good news for you. The outside pole is still available, and most of the back positions have already been chosen. So looking like you're going to be starting a little bit further up than where you qualified, but qualifying looked a little tricky for you.
It wasn't bad. I was just, it was a faster lap than I was anticipating. I figured maybe just a low 90 and not even make it into the redraw, so I was surprised.
All right, well, a bonus there, I guess, for you. 3 or 8, that is your choice.
3.
3 coming off the board and out of the hat, and it's going to be outside pole for Philip Martin. So you're going to start on the outside of the front row, some clean air up there. What do you think about starting on the outside?
It's a good spot. See if we can tuck in somewhere and get some laps down and see where we end up.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck, Philip, and we hopefully will be talking to you here at the end of this one at 125 laps.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Philip Martin going to roll off in P number 2 tonight, Kelly, as you've caught up with our final person. It's going to get the last number.
Yeah, last driver here in the redraw, and Braden, unfortunately for you, you don't get to pick any numbers, but some good news for you is everyone else picked the numbers in the back. You get to start on the inside of row number 2, P3. How are you liking that spot for tonight?
I'll take it. I'm happy I can just start on the inside. I feel like it's be hard trying to make your way down there.
That has been pretty much the response of everyone that has picked an inside line here tonight. It seems like the bottom is going to be the place to be, so hopefully you can hold that spot there, and good luck to you tonight. Maybe we'll be talking to you later on.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll let you go line up here, let you get ready for the race. And we're going to get ready for the race here as well, as we got just a few seconds left here in warm-up, and we are going to be getting things underway for 125 laps at Stafford Motor Speedway.
We sure will, and that will conclude tonight's redraw presented by RC2 Graphic Solutions. RC2 Graphic Solutions is your go-to source for professional graphic design specializing in the racing industry. From season schedules and event flyers to winter graphics and social media content, they deliver high-quality designs that make your league or event stand out. Need a custom graphic? Reach on out to Robbie today at RC2 Graphic Solutions at gmail.com, or you can visit them on Facebook at facebook.com/RC2 Graphic Solutions. RC2 Graphic Solutions, your events, our designs. And that will do that for that, Kelly. And now only one thing left to do. Strap into these race cars one more time as we get ready to go with tonight's feature event here tonight. As we get ready to look and see what that is going to look like, is here we go. Remember, the top 8 cars all then our RC2 Graphics redraw, so those top 8 make it 9 cars. Will be a little bit there different. Is remember, Bryan Hacker and Philip Martin up on the front row. Braden Campbell, Dylan Connor in row number 2. Scott Negus and Scott Austin, row number 3. And row number 4, Guillaume, Fortin, and Matt Hackathorn. Travis Hoffler will roll off in the 10th spot. Dustin Shepard and Rodney Huntoon rounding out your first 6 rows here as we roll on through the rest of the grid.
Yeah, we're going to be having Josh Cole starting back there in 13th with Jeff Bergener to his outside in 14th. Jonathan Cross makes his first start of the season back in 15th place. Austin Williams on his outside. Rob Donison, that 00 car, will be starting in 17th. Amos Odegaard will be rolling off in 18th. Dan Janin starts back in the 19th spot, and Adam Gable rounds out our top 20. Josh Nelms will be starting in 21st. 22nd to Chad McLeod. Robbie Clavey does not make the call, so starting shotgun to the field will be our last week's winner in the 69 car of Randy Nichols.
So we'll see how Randy Nichols gets fares as the pace truck heads down the back stretch. Scott Austin and Philip Martin up on the front row of this. Green flag about to come out for the very first time in the Nutmeg State 125 is green.
Yeah, drivers will be fighting for that bottom lane here tonight, and Bryan Hacker gets the advantage of starting off down there. But look at that 33 car. He's going to take away the opportunity from Philip Martin. Philip Martin going to be stuck on that high side. He's going to have to hope to maybe see a mistake on the inside from Braden Campbell. That is not going to happen. They are even up coming down the front straightaway, and Braden Campbell going to hold on to that preferred lane. You can see these drivers still fighting side by side all throughout the field. A little bit of a wiggle from the 33, and that's going to allow Philip Martin to fight back, but he can't quite get clear going into turn 3.
Yeah, he really got a good momentum on the outside there. Good grip off there. Turn 4, a little less there as that wall really comes up really quick, it seems like. As now the 3 car will jump out to that full race lead as they work down here down the back stretch. Side by side for Negus and the 46 of Martin. Dylan Connor runs there in 5th. Guillaume Fortin a little bit behind them side by side. That was Scott Austin, who's on the outside trying to find a hole down low. Josh Cole is going to fill that hole off of turn number 2.
And you can just see how important that inside line is as we watch Philip Martin drop back through the field, just getting absolutely freight trained by the inside line. He's going to catch the wall coming off of 4. There was maybe a gap for him to get down in front of the 89 car. It's still there. He's got to get himself to the bottom. Oh, 3 wide just behind them. We got the 7, the 9 of Josh Cole, and somehow all of these guys end up pointed in the right direction still. Oh, bit of contact in the back of the field. The 10 goes around, and so does the 04 of Matt Hackathorn, and the first caution of the night is going to come out. A few more drivers involved in that. Randy Nichols involved. Adam Gable as well caught up in that.
Yeah, Hackathorn catching the bad end of that. You see the damage on the driver's side door. We'll have to take and see if we saw it on there. It looked like it all started around Hackathorn. Maybe Austin Williams, and there is Donitson coming down pit road. Let's take a look back here, Kelly, and see if we can pinpoint what happened. Looks like maybe up there with John Cross, who's got in down underneath the 404 and just stacked them all up there. Cross going around. He had a good run through the inside there, looked like.
Yeah, pretty typical incident that you'd see at a flat track like this of a car just trying to get underneath of another one and just kind of forcing the issue a little too much. And I mean, it's almost what you have to do to make a pass here, Stafford. You have to just kind of assert your position to the inside, but I think that was just a little too late in the corner for the 10. You saw the 04 kind of already establish his position already below that apron, and it's kind of hard to fit another car down there without causing an incident like that.
So the field rolling down the front stretch. I believe maybe next time by will be our Austin Designs Choose Cone as our first Wizards Designs yellow flag of the evening comes out. Remember, Wizards Design is your stop for where creativity meets craftsmanship. They make signs with LED lights crafted and with vibrant acrylics. They proudly designed the North-South Racing League's awards over the last 2 seasons and running. Check them out on Facebook.com/Whitco23.com. And here we go with the Choose presented by Austin Designs.
So the 55 of Negus making the jump to the high side. He's going to risk it. And look, the 46 of Philip Martin, he's going to go for it as well. He lost a lot of ground last time, but this is a good opportunity for him to make that ground up. If he can find a gap to that bottom side, he can get himself back up within the top 5.
I like the call. I like it, especially being this early on in the race. Gain yourself a few positions here on this restart, and you never know what's going to happen on these restarts here.
Yeah, especially later on as we start to wear off these tires a little bit. I mean, they're mainly going to wear the right front. I don't think they'll really spin up those rears, but you could have someone caught sleeping, and there could be a gap for you to go. So maybe it's a good call for Philip Martin. We'll see if he can make it work here, or see if he's going to end up falling to the back once again, because that outside line is you can't do anything up there. It's impossible to really do anything here on a flat track like this.
It sure is. The Wizards Designs yellow flag going to be put away. Green flag back up. Bryan Hacker into the Renu Sealcoating restart zone, and we are back underway in the Nutmeg State 125. Bryan Hacker jumping out to the race lead. Negus Ray up the racetrack. Here comes Connor down to the inside. Philip Martin, but Negus able to go to slide into that 3rd spot, Kelly. So a nice restart by Scott to find himself into the 3rd spot right in front of Connor.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Philip Martin, he had a gap underneath him, but it was before the check there, the start-finish line. He couldn't get himself down there until turn 1. Oh, car goes around. Looks like it's the 89 of Dustin Shepard. Cars scrambling all over the back straightaway as we get our second Wizard Designs caution flag of the night.
And Shepard having some right rear damage to the Zufam Garage 89. And our yellow flag for the second time coming out once again quickly on these restarts. So let's take a look back here. Looks like he had the check up there, and then Hoffler nowhere to go. Nelms in the 00 making contact as well, Kelly. I don't believe...
Dustin Shepard came over the radio and said he accidentally hit his ignition switch, so that is what caused that big checkup. So that could definitely explain it, as a car is in front of a huge gaggle of cars suddenly just has no power.
Yeah, and then yellow flag quickly coming out by our chief flagger, Barney. Had a good chat with Barney today. Says he gets a good arm workout. You know, he flags every single iRace.
He's a very busy man.
Yes. I asked him if he was cloned. So free pass gonna go to the 00 of Ronda Nitzen in that 00 car, and his car almost looks like one of those SK modifies that they run here weekly at the Stafford Springs Raceway, and we'll see what kind of luck the 00 can have here a little bit later on here this evening, as he is back on the lead lap as John Cross down on pit road along with Austin Williams getting some damage fixed to their race cars. And they're going
I believe we are choosing this time by so Scott Austin, or the Austin Designs choose cone, getting pulled out here. Bryan Hacker to the inside, unsurprisingly. Scott Negus once again going to the high side, so he's hoping to maybe get another restart like last time, or maybe even see if he can get a better jump and get himself in front of Campbell. And of course, once again, Philip Martin trying again to go that high side, and it nearly worked out for him last time. Let's see if he can make it work this time.
Yeah, I think it's just going to have to get a good start and kind of feel out when maybe Bryan Hacker will lay down the rubber in the Renu Sealcoating restart zone. So we'll have to wait and see. It's all about that, having that perfect timing. I think outside you can hold there for maybe a lap or two, it seems like early on in this event, Kelly. But after that, it seems like you do want to try to get in line as best as you can.
Yeah, I think the sooner you can find the bottom, the better. And Philip Martin nearly got it last time, but again, you can't change lanes until you cross the start-finish line. And by the time they had gotten into turn 1, the 90 had already filled the gap. But pace car down and away, and Bryan Hacker wasting no time, getting a good jump here as he rockets off down into turn 1. The top 4 kind of all fanning out, and Philip Martin going to immediately try to get himself down there, nearly catches the 90, and look at the 33 of Campbell. He's going to go up the racetrack. That's a bad mistake from him. That's going to allow Philip Martin to get through, and he is now going to get freight trained through the back of the field as look at everyone stacked up on the bottom side already.
Yeah, they are stacked up 2 by 2 down the front stretch in the turn number 1, and a very aggressive restart there for the 46 of Martin. Going to find himself in the 3rd spot. Connor now doing battle with the number 33 of Campbell, Guillaume, Fortin, Scott Austin, and Cole all right there as well. Jeff Bergner had a very fast hot rod 1 week ago here at the Darlington Raceway, finds himself inside the top 10 with another chrome car behind him. That's the 7 of Hoffler. So a lot of fast race cars so far trying to figure out positions as they work around the racetrack. The fastest lap of the race was ran 1 lap ago by Philip Martin with a 19.80. Scott Austin up the racetrack as Bergner and him made some contact. It is full contact racing here at Stafford here this evening.
Those cars are basically glued together from turn 3 all the way to turn 1 as the 21 of Bergner was trying to get himself to the bottom at the same time Austin was trying to get himself around Campbell. And they went 3 wide off of turn 4. All 3 of them made contact. Somehow none of them went around it, but now the 5 of Scott Austin, he's going to get spun off of the nose of Heffler. He goes down into the grass, so caution will not fly just yet. Austin going to have to get himself back onto the racetrack, back up to speed. He's now at the tail end of the field, but I don't think there's any damage to the 5 machine.
No, tough right there, and that's one of those things where he got spun so quickly down to the inside. In Stafford, you do not get those yellow flags like that usually, so he's going to have a lot of ground to make up, assuming we don't have a yellow flag between this point on out. So we'll have to wait and see. Everybody kind of getting single file a little bit deeper in the field. Campbell still stuck on that outside, Kelly. He has fallen all the way to 14th. Here comes Hackathorn to the inside as well. And you got Odegaard right there trying to fill that hole as well, but he might be able to get down here. But he went from 4th all the way back to 15th.
I think he was even in 3rd, wasn't he? He started on the inside of row 2 on that last restart, and That just shows what can happen if you make a mistake and go up to that outside line. Oh, car goes around off of turn 4. Looks like the 10 of Jonathan Cross gets spun out there, as our third caution is going to fly here tonight. Only 26 or 27 laps into this event.
And that's really going to help the number 5 of Scott Austin, but unfortunately for Cross, he has gone around. Looks like Dustin Shepard might have been involved with that as well. Let's see. The truck says they got it queued up. Let's take a look at here and see. Cross down on the inside lane right there in front. Oh, he got on the back side of McLeod. It was a stack-up deal there, Kelly. Cross had to check up to stay off the back bumper of McLeod, and Shepard just nowhere to go. So it has not been the start of the race that Shepard would have liked to seen, as they'll come down pit road this time by to get some damage fixed.
I'm trying to figure out what was going on with the 93 off of turn 4 that caused that. It looked like when everyone was getting on the throttle, it seemed like not only did he not get on the throttle, it almost looks like he tapped the brake coming off of turn 4, and that's what caught the 10 out.
We will never know.
Yeah. See, his cars are rolling around once again here under caution. Doesn't look like anyone from the lead pack is going to be taking the opportunity to head down into pit road just yet, so everyone going to basically stay in their current positions. And these drivers do have a couple sets of tires in the pits to use here tonight, but with only 30 laps in, or we're on lap 30 now, and a large number of those already under caution, I don't think these tires are really needed just yet.
I would agree with you on that, Kelly, as we get ready to do our Austin Design Shoes Cone. I believe this time up off the corner, so we'll put the cone out there, and no surprise, top 2 go single file. Philip Martin going to play that outside there.
Yeah, looks like Bergner and Heffler are also going to go to the high side. Jan Janin has made his way up all the way from 19th into the top 10, and he's making the gamble on the outside lane as well.
Yeah, him. So the outside lane, first one to choose was Martin, and then Bergner, who was back in about 8th place, now going to restart 4th on the outside of row number 2. It stresses me out, and I'm not even behind the wheel on which lane to choose.
But it definitely is a gamble. I mean, we saw the Braden Campbell made a single mistake, went wide in turn 1 or turn 2, and got forced to that outside lane and dropped all the way from 3rd place back into, I believe he scored 18th. So that outside lane is a gamble.
Back into the Renu Sealcoating restart zone, and we are back underway. And a good start by Philip Martin. Can he get down in front of Negus? He cannot. He'll be side by side off of turn number 2. Bergner trying to force his way to the inside on Connor. And one thing we got to keep in mind here that really hasn't played a factor, I don't think, in the first 2 races of the season. They do have an incident point limit. So what that means, if you're watching at home, first time tuning in, we thank you for tuning in here to the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stocks Division. But with the unique set of rules here for the North-South Racing League is if you have incident points, so every point of contact, off track, whatever, equals an incident points. So if you get 14 of those, it's pretty much saying that your car is done. It throws you out of the race.
Throws you out of the race and gives you an end-of-line penalty for the next race that you attend. As we see the 21 of Bergner now finally fighting his way down to the bottom in front of Josh Cole. So that outside lane choice didn't quite work out for Bergner. He still scored in 6th, I believe, so it wasn't the worst for him. But these guys are now starting to sort themselves out into single file. Travis Heffler, though, he never found the bottom now. He's dropped way back He's fighting side by side with the 12 of Rodney Huntoon, and he is going to lose the ground spot there and not going to find the bottom. Once again, as Scott Austin moves himself into that position.
Yeah, he's worked underneath the Hoffler race cars. Number 7, Hackathorn, will be the next car trying to fill it in there. Can he quite get inside the 7? He can. Is now, looks like, well, Hackathorn going to throw it in there. I thought maybe, just maybe, Hoffler had a hole there. We should be able to fit in behind Hackathorn, which he will do right there. Braden Campbell starting to make his march towards the front as he battles with the number 2 of Dan Janjanin. All this happening behind Brian Hacker, who is really unable to shake Scott Negus, as Negus is working the back bumper on that number 2 car.
Yeah, but at the same time, where is he going to go to make a pass? He basically has to hope for a mistake from Hacker off of either turn 2 or turn 4, or maybe just wait for that 2 car to burn off his tires to make anything happen. Just behind them, though, Philip Martin under a lot of pressure from Dylan Connor, but again, it's hard to pass here. You have to try to just maybe force your car in there or wait for something to happen.
Yeah, we saw him be able to get somebody loose maybe. This racetrack is all about patience. As we work around here, as Guillaume Fortin runs there and back in spot number 5 as well. Connor, we know, has a fast race car. Looks to be a little bit quicker than the 46 of Martin, but unable to get a nose to the inside. And that's when patience will run thin here tonight. We're going to see that chrome horn get used at Stafford. It's just a matter of when. It's not if.
Yeah, our biggest mover here tonight, Josh Nelms, up 13 spots, and I think a lot of that is from just making good calls on the restart at the choose cone and being able to hold on to his spot during these restarts. He's got himself up into 8th place and is trying to continue that charge up there, but he's kind of found himself in a little bit of no man's land, a bit of a gap in front, bit of a gap behind as well.
And how about last week's winner, Randy Nichols, inside the top 10 already, just 44 or 43 laps into the books, working lap 44. So Randy Nichols from 22nd to 10th. It's not a bad run at the start of this one as they work around the Stafford Motor Speedway. You're starting to see those marbles start to get built up now the longer these runs go. During the yellow flags, track crews do go out, sweep the outside of the racetrack. But as these drivers get into a longer run, we are going to see where it makes there. As Nichols takes a look to the inside underneath Gable. That's the battle for 9th. Adam Gable on the outside, Randy Nichols down low. They might have had some contact off of turn number 4, but they keep it pointed in the right direction. Good battle there, and now Nichols going to move to 9th here. Remember, he is only one of 2 drivers to have a victory lane in NSRL competition here at Stafford.
And it almost seems like people let Nichols win last week so they didn't have to take the EOL this week. It is a tough call to be able to make it all the way from the back to the front, but Nichols getting the job done so far. He still has a lot of time left in this race, and he's moved himself up into 9th, and it's one of the few natural on-track passes that we've actually seen so far tonight.
Yeah, everybody kind of just in single file formation right now as they work around this racetrack. A little battle a little bit deeper back in the field. I believe that is Odegaard working up underneath Janjanin as they come off the corner, and he will make it. Past Odegaard in that 60 car, moving himself up to 18th is Dan Janjanin. Trouble, maybe he got the outside wall that time down the straightaway.
Yeah, Janjanin not having a good green flag run here. He was up towards the front on that initial start, but could not find the bottom, and has now moved himself pretty much to the back of the field. He was inside the top 10, and now he is sitting in 20th, so I'm sure he's hoping for another caution flag and maybe another attempt at making a move through the choose cone.
Rodney Huntoon now starting to put some pressure on Adam Gable, trying to get into the top 10 here in his LaFountain Austin Designs number 12. Scott Austin with a nice rebound after being sent through the grass. He's up to the 12th spot. Same with Hackathorn. Remember, Hackathorn was up in the air with that Toyota Celica. Finds himself now up into the 13th position.
Yeah, but you want to talk about pressure. Look at just in front of them. Randy Nichols is right on top of Josh Nelms. At the same time, now we see Rodney Huntoon once again all over Adam Gable just behind them. So we got to watch these two pairs here go at it, and one of these guys is eventually going to make a move here. Someone's going to get a good run off of one of these corners and going to have to try to just shove their nose in going into either turns 1 or 3.
Right now they're sitting there. Randy Nichols does have the paces. Now he takes a look to the inside underneath Nelms. Nelms up into that second groove. That's allowed Nichols to get on by. So move Nichols into 8th. Nelms back to 9th. And Randy Nichols now on a charge. And he's got to make up about 0.4 of a second to get to the back bumper to the number 9 of Josh Cole.
It looks like actually it's a full second now that's separating them after the time that was lost making that move over Josh Nelms. So a lot of ground for Randy Nichols to make up, but keep an eye on that 12 of Rodney Huntoon. He's still on Adam Gable, and Gable, though, he's starting to catch up to Nelms as well. So this battle inside the top 10 here is not over yet.
Yeah, we watch the battle for 3rd right now as Martin still holding off Connor. But Connor right to the inside, maybe a little bit of bumper tag that time off turn number 4. Stacks him up. Guillaume Fortin right there ready to make a move. Was unable to do so that time off of turn number 2. Everybody's single filing it back out there. And I tell you, Negus in that number 55. Negus in the 55, running in 2nd. He's having a good run. Has had speed this season. Just Lady Luck also not on his side early on in this 2025 Renu Sealcoating late model stock division.
Yeah, a couple laps ago, it looked like the 90 of Connor was going to be able to make the move around Philip Martin, but just was about to get himself into the back corner of the 46, so he checked up, and great reactions from Guillaume, though, to immediately slam on the brakes and not slam into the back of that 90 car.
Absolutely, and now the pressure is on the back side of the top 10. Josh Nelms in the 00. Starting to feel the pressure from the 91 of Adam Gable. Gable taking a peek to the inside. Has to hit the hooks not to get into the left rear quarter panel. And there's really stacked them up back here, as you see from our blimp camera. 5 cars underneath the blanket off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it looked like Gable kind of floated up in turn 3 to try to get a run off of 4, and that nearly opened himself up to an attack from the 12. Oh, now it looks like a bit of a mistake from Nelms. He went up the racetrack in turn 2, and that gives an opportunity for Adam Gable to get himself down there, and this is going to be bad for Nelms. He's immediately just getting out of the throttle. He's trying to let this group by, and the 5 of Scott Austin not giving him any room up against the wall.
And you gotta really wonder when getting up there, you see him up into the marbles. You gotta shake those off those tires there. It's gonna make the car handle a little pretty not on the fun side. Let's put it that way, Kelly. So you gotta wonder, was he letting off just because of the marbles getting collected onto the hot tires here this evening? But that allows those groups to get by. Look at, they've already gapped them by 3 car lengths in the turn 3.
Yeah, and there's still a few battles going on in this field. Huntoon is still on top of Adam Gable, still trying to find a way around. And Scott Austin having to fend off Matt Hackathorn. And Nelms is still under pressure as Braden Campbell, after dropping way back to the field, he's still trying to find his way back up in front. And towards the front of the field, we've got a few battles here as well. Negus has not allowed Hacker to get any sort of ground over him, and he's been kind of just tagging along, waiting for that 2 to maybe make a mistake or burn off his tires, as the 2 of them have opened up quite a bit of a gap over the 46 of Philip Martin.
Yeah, they've opened it up there now, but Scott really keeping the number 2 of Bryan Hacker honest, and lap traffic dead ahead of them. The first car that they're going to come across, I believe that was the 60 of Odegaard, will be the first car that they start to run into for lap traffic. And that's when this race is really going to change complexion, Kelly, is when we get into lap traffic. It looks like Odegaard going to take the 60 car down on the apron and into pit road, so he will bow out of the way of the race leaders. When we get to the back half of this field there, they're going to be tougher to pass, and that could really open up a lot of passing opportunities up front.
Yeah, and I'm watching Philip Martin right now. He's under a lot of pressure from Dylan Connor. Connor seems like he's faster, but just has not been able to kind of set up a pass around Philip Martin, and Martin just has to focus on trying to hit his marks. At this point, he has to save his tires as much as possible, try to ignore the 90, or at least put his car in a position to keep the 90 behind him. And while Dylan Connor tries to set up a pass, he also has to keep in mind that Guillaume Fortin is right on top of him as well.
Yeah, right now you don't want to let anything happen to the inside as they work down the back stretch. It is still Bryan Hacker up front, but you see they're starting to search for the grip. I believe the track is starting to heat up. This tire's starting to go away. His last time by, they all were down into the 20.1s, 20.0 for Philip Martin. So Philip Martin still has a little speed left in that race car. As we look at them across the line this time, look at their best time of the race. So they've slowed down a good 3 to 4 tenths a lap here, just past the halfway point.
And that time it was Guillaume and Dylan Connor both running in the 20.0s compared to the guys in front of him running 20.1. So everyone's got a little bit of pace here, but we'll have to see if they can set up some passes. And looks like Scott Negus is also running into the same issue that the 90 of Connor is, where he's got pace but just can't find a way to use it. That time off of turn 2, it looked like Connor was going to be able to make a move, and once again he's right up on the bumper of Philip Martin, but just has nowhere to go.
Yeah, we are on board with Negus as they work here through the corner, trying to make something happen. They lost a little bit of ground that time, but he'll regroup a little bit deeper in the field. Dustin Shepard runs back in 17th. Austin Williams is 16th. Both those drivers having a rough start to the night's race. Braden Campbell trying to get going back forward, and he's on the backside of Nelms. So Nelms, who was inside the top 10 at one point, has fallen all the way back to 14th, and now feeling pressure for the 33 of Braden Campbell. And Travis Hoffler right there in front of them, and Scott Austin.
And it looks for a second like Rodney Huntoon was going to finally be able to make the move on Adam Gable. I mean, he's been on top of him for so long now, but just couldn't quite get enough of a run off of turn 4. Once again, going to get his nose to the inside, nearly force that 91 car up the racetrack, but he's going to back out. Doesn't want to dump his own teammate in front of him.
Yeah, both Sport and the Austin designs on the hood there, so you know they don't want to cause any extra work in the shop this week, keeping the nose pieces clean. Is now Hoffler up underneath Scott Austin. So Austin going to fall back here. Braden Campbell trying to get there, but he will not do so. So Austin back to the 13th spot after a promising start to the night. Ended up with him going through the grass and not catching one of those Wizards Designs yellow flags.
Yeah, Dylan Connor still trying to chase down Philip Martin. He's opened up a little bit more of a gap to Guillaume Fortin, and the 21 of Jeff Bergener has dropped off of that group of 3 in front of him. So he's now kind of found himself out in the middle of nowhere, as there's a 3-second gap behind him to Josh Cole.
Everybody knowing the hourglass starting to run dry. 40 laps to or 45 laps to go.
Yeah, 125 laps on the schedule here, and we are running on lap 81 as the leaders working through some more lap traffic. Dan Janjanin running up the track, getting into the marbles, getting into the wall, and he is going to have to stay high once again, allow the next 3 cars around him, and just have to layer up more of those marbles on his tires. So Janjanin struggling right now as he's trying to get himself back into a rhythm.
Yeah, and that's really going to hamper the outside lane to start coming in. I'm surprised no one has really tried to start maybe fishing around for a little bit of extra grip. I would assume with a long green flag run that we have is now Nichols up underneath Josh Cole. That's the battle for the 7th spot. So Randy Nichols going to find his way around the number 9 of Cole. And back there, how about Hackathorn? Rodney Huntoon finally able to get around the 91 of Gable, and Hackathorn right there as well, trying to make something happen. Gable going to fight back on the outside, though, in the turn number 3. So like I said, Kelly, maybe they're finding a little bit of grip, a little bit of speed on the outside lane.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough to overcome that inside lane as it's just so much stronger, and it is going to work out for Hackathorn. He is now, not quite clear coming off of 4, but off of 2, going into 1, though. Oh, he goes way down to the bottom, and he's going to now be able to slide up in front of Gable, but almost allowed Gable to have enough momentum to make a counter, but not quite going to work. Hackathorn going to secure himself in that position. Just in front of them a little bit, Randy Nichols is going to get himself clear of the 9 of Josh Cole, and now Cole going to have to try to fight off Rodney Huntoon. Looks like he's carrying a little bit of speed.
Yeah, Huntoon starting to make some noise here, some 8.5 seconds behind our race leaders. And I tell you, Negus in that 55 car, really keeping pace with Bryan Hacker, and they're going to be catching up on the backside of the 89 of Dustin Shepard. We haven't said that. It seems foreign to say that to the Zoofab Garage 89 car in danger of going 1 lap down.
Yeah, it's been a very long green flag run here, and I'm sure a few of these guys are hoping for a caution to come out so they can replace their tires, as Jonathan Cross is going to go down another lap here. A rough night for that 10 car.
As 89 of Shepard as well gets bows out of the way of the race leaders. And something going away on the 55 of Negus as he has really dropped off the back bumper of Bryan Hacker. Hacker opened up there, but the Wizards design yellow flag going to come out for the 4th time as Josh Cole in trouble here on the front stretch.
Oh yeah, Josh Cole got spun around, and we're gonna have to take a look at the replay, see what happened to that 9 car as he got himself turned around, and that is gonna finally allow these guys to get a caution flag and get their tires changed.
Got down on the apron, caught the outside wall, and Adam Gable nowhere to go. Luckily, the field able to maneuver around him, but got down on the apron, Kelly, and it shot him right up the racetrack. Got tight off turn number 4. And that does it as now we come back to live pictures and everybody coming down pit road.
Not everyone, though. There's a couple of the leaders that have elected to stay out. Surprisingly, it looks like the 55 of Negus has stayed out, as well as Philip Martin. Everyone else that is on the race that has stayed out is at least 1 lap down. So we'll see if those 2 can hold off the rest of the field that are going to have fresh tires with about 30 laps to go. I mean, it's hard to pass around here, but I can't imagine that these fresh tires would have any sort of problem getting around the older tires, even if they do hold that bottom lane.
Yeah, Negus and Martin, the only 2 cars to stay out. Bryan Hacker took 2 tires. So it'll be interesting to see what we're going to do with the Austin Designs choose cone. I would assume, if I was a betting man, the 55 and the 46 will choose the inside.
That would probably be the best play, but I mean, that would also open them up to Bryan Hacker, and Hacker could just get a good run, hold the outside lane, and probably blast around the 55. And as we're choosing here, yeah, it looks like they are both going to take the inside lane, and that's probably exactly what Hacker wanted to see, because I think he's just going to hang it on that outside, and he's going to get himself back into the race lead.
You think those new tires are going to make that big of a difference, Kelly, as we head on this restart? We saw the outside lane not really be able to hang out there, but like you said, 90 lap fresher tires, and about probably 70 of those under green flag.
I mean, we saw in the very first start that Philip Martin was able to hold on in the outside lane for about 5 laps almost. So, and they were about, what, half a second, maybe even more, between their fastest laps and the laps that they were running before this caution came out. I think Hacker can make this move on the outside with these new tires.
We're going to find out. The lights go out around the speedway as the iRacing pace truck will make their way down to pit road. And Scott Negus, for the first time this evening, will be our race leader and choose when to fire in the Renu Sealcoating restart zone. Green flag in Barney's right hand. Green flag is up, and we are back underway.
Yeah, good start from that 55, and that's going to force Bryan Hacker to first have to fend off the 46. Oh, and there's a bit of contact between them. Look at Guillaume Fortin. He's hanging that bottom side as well. He's got fresh tires too. And look at the 90 of Connor trying to get himself down to the bottom. Can't quite get there. Going to get a little bit of a door slam from the 21 of Jeff Bergener as these cars race down the front straightaway. Scott Negus hanging on to the race lead, and the 46 of Martin going to hold on to second for now. But the guys behind them are fast and with fresh tires, but they have to sort things out between themselves first as Bryan Hacker and Guillaume Fortin go side by side off of turn 4.
That's the battle for the championship right now. They came in tied as now Guillaume Fortin going to move into that third spot. He'll go under attack, and as we talked about tires, Scott Negus just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 19.74 after this restart. And right now these guys, what they want to see is about probably 10-15 laps of hard racing, and then maybe a Wizards design yellow flag. As now Connor goes around. Hard contact in the turn number 1. The Wizards design yellow flag comes out for the 5th time as Dylan Connor's night comes crashing to an end in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, the bad luck continues for the 90 of Dylan Connor. He's been fast every single week so far, but has not really been able to see the checkered flag, as that time he looked like he was trying to defend the inside lane and spun off of the nose of the 12 of Rodney Huntoon.
Scott Austin also involved in that one. We saw Hackathorn spinning through the infield. Let's take a look at this one more time. As we'll look at it from Dylan, we'll go on board looking out the back, and oh, hard contact. You really got to feel the. I would say he is in the running for the hard luck award once again this season, or for this evening.
Yeah, but looks like the tires of those front 2 of Martin and Negus actually didn't wear all that much. It seems like it was more tire heat that had caused them to lose so much pace over the course of that green flag run, and it seems like they were able to cool their tires down enough while under caution to put down some fast laps. I mean, like you mentioned, Scott Negus was actually able to run the fastest lap of the race, a 19.739 on that last restart. And as the laps are ticking away here, we're going to be probably under 20 to go once we go green flag racing once again. And Negus is in a good position to maybe take home the win here tonight.
Yeah, he'll become our 3rd different winner on the season. Remember, Bryan Hacker picked up the season opener at Myrtle Beach. Last week, Randy Nichols picked up the win at Darlington. We're really starting to get into the meat and potatoes of the season right now, Kelly, as we look at the upcoming races for the season, or for the races coming up here. next week we will be heading, if I can find it,
Yeah, so Scott Niga is going to hold the inside along with Philip Martin. Guillaume Fortin is going to be the first one to elect to go to the high side, so he's going to see if he can do what Bryan Hacker couldn't and maybe make that outside pole work here a little bit. But I mean, the advantage goes to the 55 because he controls the initial start. He can go whenever he wants. It allows him a bit of a gap. Guillaume just mainly needs to focus on getting a better start than Philip Martin and slotting himself down into that bottom lane and into turn number 1.
Yes, sir. That's going to be what we're going to see. Bryan Hacker, like you said, chose the inside lane after the outside was not the place to be. Here we go into the Renu Sealcoating restart zone, and that time Negus was not waiting around. He gets a good jump. Philip Martin as well down to the inside underneath Guillaume Fortin as they'll roll through turns 1 and 2. Side by side off turn number 2. They're still battling there, and this is what the 55 wants to see. Open up a little bit of a gap as they battle hard. Contact between Bryan Hacker and the 21 of Bergner just for a second is now Philip Martin and Guillaume Fortin trade paint into 1 and 2.
Yeah, Guillaume pushing hard on that outside lane. He thinks he can make it work, and he's using those fresher tires to his advantage. And Philip Martin making some good moves on the bottom, holding on to some good pace, but he is starting to fade back a little bit. He's now only at the door of Guillaume Fortin going into turn 1. And that 13 QC is making it work, but fighting back on the bottom is Philip Martin. He's now pulled himself even once again. And this is exactly what Scott wants to see, those two guys going at it as he opens up this gap.
Yeah, now Bryan Hacker going to try to make something happen as well as he ran the new fast lap of the race. A little bit of bumper tag, though, between Bergner and the 2 of Hackers. The battle is still on for second. Guillaume Fortin with a bumper out front of Philip Martin through turns 3 and 4. Is Fortin going to be able to get the power down? He will. Can he close the door? He will not in the turn number 1. Fortin still rolls that outside lane around the 46 of Philip Martin. They're going to try to go 3 wide down the backstretch.
Yeah, Hacker is looking for his opportunity as Fortin finally gets clear. Hacker going to go to the high side a little bit, and that's going to allow the 21 to get under. Oh, a little bit of contact between him and Bergner. That's going to slow Bergner up, and now here comes Randy Nichols on the inside. He's going to send it up through turns 1 and 2. He's going to be door to door with the 21 of Bergner coming down the back straightaway. Randy Nichols trying to get himself up into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. Once again, he had to start at the back after winning last week, had to take that winner's EOL, and he has finally fought his way up to this lead group. As look at to the 2 of Bryan Hacker. He's getting his nose underneath Philip Martin. Can't quite make it work that time, but you have to keep an eye on him. He's got the pace, he's got the fresher tires, and if he can just set a pass up that time, looks like a bit of a bobble off of 4 is going to cost him a little bit of ground.
Yeah, we're on board with the Renu Sealcoating onboard camera with Bryan Hacker as he's right there. The top 3 cars all underneath the blanket. As since Fortin had gotten around to 46, he is able to close right in on the race lead. So can Fortin go to victory lane here tonight with just 13 laps to go? Fortin down to the inside. Look at make contact. Contact for the race lead gives Philip Martin the race lead. We've stayed green.
Yeah, unfortunate. Guillaume Fortin had the speed off the corner, and I don't think he was ready for the slow pace of the 55. I think he was just trying to move him up the track and moved him a little too much, and now that's allowed the 69 of Nichols to get underneath him. He's going to fight back and make the move on the high side to stay in 3rd. But unfortunate for the 55 car of Scott Negus is he did not get the caution, and he's going to drop all the way to the tail end of the lead lap. Now Bryan Hacker is going for the race win against Philip Martin. Just as they come around the turns 3 and 4, this time at the line, they are going to get 10 laps to go. So Philip Martin has to just hold on, and Hacker has to figure something out soon.
Yeah, Bryan Hacker all over the back side of Philip Martin like a cheap suit. Taking a look to the inside, trying to get the nose down low, can't quite do it. Is now as they battle out. Guillaume Fortin has the fishing line out, trying to get there. Hacker right to the back bumper. He gets the 46 loose. Here comes Fortin. It's a 3-car battle for the race lead. 9 laps to go.
And Hacker going to chop down, gets himself nearly spun off the nose of Guillaume. He's going to get a run. He's going to get the nose to the inside. He's going to get underneath Philip Martin door to door. Coming through 3 and 4. Philip Martin going to have that high line, a little bit of momentum down the front straightaway, but he's got the older tires and the worse line going through 1 and 2. Bryan Hacker going to get his nose out ahead now down the back straightaway. Guillaume Fortin keeping himself tucked up nice and close to Bryan Hacker. He doesn't want to allow Philip Martin to get himself down back to that bottom lane, as Hacker is going to finally get himself clear going into turn 1. Randy Nichols trying to follow them through, but the gap is going to open up, and that's going to allow the 46 down. Oh, he's now going to cross up Guillaume. He's got enough momentum. Can Guillaume use his tires to hold on the outside?
Guillaume Fortin rolls the outside off turn number 4. He'll hold on to the second spot over Philip Martin. 6 laps to go, as now the 69 of Randy Nichols will try to hold off Bergener for the 4th position, as they're all chasing Bryan Hacker. So a change of fortune there up at the front. Tough break for Negus. But now Guillaume Fortin, he's applying the pressure to the number 2, and we know that he is not shy of using the front bumper.
Yeah, these two going at it once again. This is as you've mentioned, also the battle for the championship lead. These two came into this race tied on points and will be separated after this one is done and dusted. But we'll have to see what order they're going to be in. Just a few laps to go. Caution is going to come out, and I believe we are going to have a green-white checkered, as it looks like Josh Cole is turned around off of turn 4.
Josh Cole, unfortunately, going to draw our 6th Wizard Designs yellow flag of the evening. Rodney Huntoon also involved with Scott Austin. Let's take a look back here and see. You see Josh Cole's number 9. Right there. Oh, got to the back of Hackathorn, checked up, and it was a 4-car battle. Really, Rodney Huntoon came to a stop. A little bit of contact with Scott Austin, just because Austin and Huntoon really know where to go other than to come to a stop. And that will bring us underneath our 6th yellow flag. Is now we will have our green-white checkered attempt. Coming on up.
Only one attempt at the green-white checkered here tonight, so if we have a caution that comes out, it will end this race. So only one shot at this. Can Bryan Hacker hold on, or is Guillaume going to be able to make the move? We'll have to see also where drivers elect to go on this choose cone here. I believe the Austin Designs choose cone is out there now. We'll have to see where these guys elect to go as they come around. Or no, it looks like it may be one more, and then they'll choose. One
more time around. As we got in a second, Kelly, next week we're going to head to the High Banks out in Newton, Iowa, to the Iowa Speedway, where a 100-lap contest awaits. Iowa is going to put on a good show in 1 week's time. If you've enjoyed tonight's race, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know you appreciate their efforts out there on the racetrack, and it's been a pretty exciting one here over these last several laps.
Yeah, and you can also hit the subscribe button, get all the info on not only the NSRL, but all the other series that the Turn 3 Racing Network covers, as we finally get to the choose cone that time around. Bryan Hacker and Guillaume Fortin both taking the bottom, and once again, Philip Martin going to see if he can make that outside line work. He's been out there on the high side a number of times with the choose cone here tonight.
He has, and well, we know that those tires, when they cool down, they're not that terrible.
No, they hold on for a couple of laps before it seems like they start to fall off. They do fall off and heat up a little faster than the rest of these guys that are on the fresh tires, but there is a possibility that Philip Martin can maybe make something work, but he's going to have to find that bottom side fast.
That he will. Jeff Bergner jumping out to the outside. How about Braden Campbell? We saw him drop towards the back here early on in this one after getting stuck to the outside. He's up inside the top 10. Once again, same with Josh Nelms as Bryan Hacker will lead the field into turns 3 and 4 and into the Renu Sealcoating restart zone. Green flag is up and a good start that time by Hacker down the front stretch. Green, white, checkered attempt, or only one coming at us.
Yeah, drivers scrambling for the bottom side. They need to get down there as Philip Martin trying to hold off Guillaume Fortin. Not going to work. And immediately Bergen is going to go in there, and that's going to send the 46 around. He's going to get the 69, and hard into the wall is the 33 of Braden Campbell. Cars scattered all over the place, but it looks like Bryan Hacker collected the white flag, so we are going to race it out. And it's going to be Bryan Hacker down the back straightaway. He's going to be leading with no one around him. Bryan Hacker off of turn number 4. He is going to take the win at the Nutmeg State 125.
Hacker will win over Fortin, Bergner, Nichols, Hoffler, your top 5. Rodney Huntoon 6. Hackathorn, Nelms, Negus, and Connor rounding out your top 10. All unofficial. As Bryan Hacker is going to be our first repeat winner of 2025 in the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series here at Stafford. And Bryan Hacker going to come down into victory lane. And a very exciting finish there. Controversial finish as well. As both him, Fortin, and Bergner will all get lined up down there in victory lane. And as they do that, we are going to be headed down to the ZooFab Garage post-race show right after a quick word from a couple sponsors. We'll be right back, everybody.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Bowling brings people together.
Right down the middle. You got it. Uh-oh. Good job.
See what you can do, man.
Oh! Wait.
That's a strike right there. Woo! Connect with family and friends. Go bowling.
And welcome back here to the Stafford Motor Speedway, where tonight's Nutmeg 125 took a little extra distance to get it done, but we got it done and will now enter the ZooFab Garage post-race show. And whether your street car, on-track car needs performance enhancements, you got to think ZooFab Garage. Stop down and see Dustin Shepard in the pit area, or look it up on Facebook at ZooFab Garage. And we can take in, I tell you, some of those cars that he's got projects he was talking about, Kelly. I looked on the page there last week, and the ZooFab Garage putting out some fantastic products out of there. So make sure you stop them. We thank them for being tonight's post-race show sponsor. But I believe you are down in victory lane with a very happy two-time winner this season.
Yeah, here with Bryan Hacker getting his second win on the season. And Bryan, I'm sure you're happy to have gotten through that one practically unscathed.
Yeah, there were some moments after we pitted and the car didn't come alive like I thought it would. That made me a little nervous. I started on the outside, thought we'd be able to roll the top, and man, this thing was a dump truck, and it was a dump truck all the way through that checkered. So, not what I was expecting when bolting on some fresh rubber, but I'm glad we were able to avoid some of that calamity and bring it home.
I mean, you go back and watch the broadcast, you'll hear the same sentiment from me. I thought you were going to blast through on the high side, but bit of a struggle here. But tonight you are going to get the win. You are going to go ahead of Guillaume Fortin in the points. So what do you think it's going to take to be able to maintain the championship lead for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, the last 2 seasons have been anything. It's going to take near perfection. The guy's he's just an animal, and you know, there's a few other guys in here that really could come up here and win a race any week, right? So the 90 car has been fast. The 55 car tonight was extremely fast. The 04 has been fast. So a couple of rookies in here, and then you got the rest of the guys, Randy, Scott, some of the part-timers that show up here and there. So it's going to take a lot to hold G off, but I think it's not going to be just battling G. There's plenty of other good guys here to put up a fight for this points battle this season.
Well, next week we definitely change things up. We go from a very flat track to one that's a little bit longer, a little bit wider, and a little bit more lanes to choose there at Iowa. I mean, what do you think you're gonna expect there?
I mean, we'll find out. I'm not an Iowa fan, which probably hurts your cohort over here. Al probably hurts his heart pretty bad to hear that. But I don't really care for Iowa, and these cars, the crate engines, and they're gripped up. It's I think it's going to be hard to pass. I'd be willing to bet that it's going to be difficult to get around somebody on the bottom next week. So coming from the back is certainly going to be a challenge. But if I don't know how many laps it is. We will probably have to play the pit strategy game next week to try to get up front.
It's 100 laps, so I'm gonna say for sure I think you guys are gonna have to pit at some point that evening.
Yeah, I would guess that we would, depending on cautions. But I think you're gonna want tires anyway next week. We'll see.
All right, Bryan. Well, congratulations on your win here tonight. We're gonna give you the floor. Who would you like to thank for your run tonight?
I'd like to thank everybody on the car. Scott Austin Designs. I didn't catch what happened there at the end, but I think he got caught up in that and got the short end of the stick a couple times tonight. So rough go for him. Hopefully he bounces back next week. Thanks to Carbon Junction, Aberdeen Lodge, Boulder Beer Bar. A good run to G. Thought, once we got behind him on that restart, I didn't think we were going to get back around him. So it's just, fortunate on our part to end up where we were tonight. Thanks to you guys for coming out and doing this. The admins for putting this thing on, and really, I guess I'll take a little bit of time to shout out everybody out there that's already contributing to the memorial we've got coming up next month. It means a lot to my family. It's a pretty big deal for the league to come out and support us the way that they have. So I always joke around that I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win races. But at the end of the day, I've ended up making some pretty good friends in this league, and they're a bunch of good guys that are helping us out and helping out the charities that helped us out when we were in a time of need.
And as he mentioned, that we do have that charity waffle coming up, and if you want to be involved, it is a by donation, and basically you choose how many laps you think Bryan Hacker here is going to lead on our March 31st race at Oxford Plains. So we'll be giving you a little more info on that before we close out the night. But I'd like to thank you for coming out here, Bryan, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
Hope so. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Bryan Hacker after his second win here tonight. So I think he is happy to have gotten through this one. But as mentioned, he has got a tough night ahead of him next week from Iowa, starting in the back. But Al, I believe you are now going to be caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, a driver that was fast all night long and was battling for the race lead there, Guillaume, and had a very fast hot rod once again here. Just going to come up a little bit shy here at Stafford. Talk us through your event.
Yeah, it was so hard to pass there at Stafford, but once we had tires, I tried to make ground for it and tried a little bit too much and got together with Scott, and I feel bad for him. He made a great job all race long staying up front, and I just ended his dream at the win with wrecking, so I'm really sorry about that. But otherwise, I think we had a pretty clean race, and Bryan was the class of the field tonight.
You put the pressure on him there coming to there. Did you need a few more laps on with your race car to get it going there on that green white checkered?
Yeah, I think so. 5 or 10 more laps. I think the battle would have been great because it's all about the momentum. Trying to pass up here, you need to set up the run at the perfect time, just so you don't burn too much of the right front and try to get a good exit. But Bryan was way too fast tonight. He made all the great move and lane choose also, so he did a great job.
Well, you're going to come out of here with a second place finish. I know you came into tonight's championship points battle tied with Bryan, but next week he has to start at the back of the field at Iowa. He's worried about passing. What do you think we're going to see at that big 7/8 of a mile racetrack in Newton, Iowa next week?
I think it's going to be all about drafting and tire saving. Usually at those big tracks, the drafting is pretty usual, like we saw at Darlington, so it's hard to pass, and you just need to be in a pack and try to stay in a pack just to be up front. So hopefully we can separate the front pack and maybe try to get some point in the standing, but I'm looking forward to Iowa. Usually I'm pretty good there.
Well, we look forward to seeing what happens. As you know from being around me for a long time, Iowa is one of my favorite tracks. I'm really looking forward to see what this Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series will put on for us. But we'll lay the roll the red carpet back out for you here once again in the ZooFab Garage post-race show. Who makes it all possible for this 13QC to be on the podium tonight?
Yeah, everybody that support us with the real life stuff, all our sponsor from Quebec, thank you guys for supporting us. And also everybody at NSRL for putting up this league. It's always fun on Monday night to have a place like this to race. And you guys for always putting on a great show. Always fun to rewatch the race.
Well, congratulations, Guillaume, on a second place finish here tonight in the Nutmeg State 125. And we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week in Iowa.
Yeah, hopefully it's on the first place.
Mr. Guillaume Fortin gonna come home in spot number 2 tonight, Kelly, after a little bit of contact with Scott Negus in this one, but all non-intentional, as you heard, and he feels bad, but he's gonna come home with that number 2 spot. As you caught up with our third place finisher, who had a little contact himself.
Yeah, here now with our third place finisher, driver of the number 21, Jeff Bergner. And Jeff, it definitely seemed like it was a typical Stafford Motor Speedway race. You had to have the elbows out to really get anywhere.
Yeah, unfortunately it was that way. You can't do anything in that top line. So if you could roll on somebody and get underneath them, that's about the only way.
Well, it also seemed like a lot of this race came down to what lane you chose when you came to under the caution flag. I mean, what was your strategy every time you came to the Austin Designs choose cone?
Only take the top side if I could gain a couple spots from where I would be on the bottom. That'd be about it.
Well, next week we are definitely shifting gears going to Iowa. Are you looking forward to a bit more of a banked track?
Oh no, I'm looking more for Oxford.
Sounds like you want more of this rough and tumble racing here.
Yeah, I love short tracks. The bigger tracks I don't really care for.
All right, well, unfortunately, you have a few weeks to get to the Oxford Plains Speedway, but I mean, is there anything else on the schedule that you're looking forward to?
Nah, just hanging out with the guys, having fun. You know, it's a nice little getaway for the first of the week.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for coming out and talking to us. Before we let you go, though, who would you like to thank for getting things done here tonight and getting your third place finish?
Oh, well, teammates. Tiny Horse Stables there. You know, you got Randy and Travis. JC was there tonight. It just, makes it a lot more fun. We talk. We make it worthwhile.
All right, well, I'll let you catch back up with those guys for your post-race, and congratulations once again for finishing in third place, coming all the way from 14th, and hopefully we will hear from you again next week.
Yeah, that'll be pretty amazing if it happens twice, that's for sure.
All right, that is going to be it for Jeff Bergener, our third place finisher here tonight, and as mentioned, enjoys these short tracks, enjoys getting his elbows out, and enjoys getting his nose dirty, and that's really what it took to get things done here at Stafford this week.
Yeah, and I mean, we came into this not knowing that it was going to be a rough and tumble. You're going to have to use that nose. Stafford, historically, a very technical racetrack, hard to pass on racetrack, and it lived up to its expectations here tonight for the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series, and really enjoyed this one. As you look at your results through the top 18 on your screen, Kelly, a lot of movers and comers and goers here tonight. A lot of drivers probably leaving here with probably a little sour of a taste, I would say, in their mouth, not getting the finish that they probably deserved.
Yeah, a couple drivers ending up getting spun out, getting pushed out of the way. And I mean, it's short track racing, and especially at a place like Stafford where you've got no banking and only a single lane. It's really how things are going to work. I'm sure we'll see it again in a few weeks at Nashville and then Martinsville for sure. And then, as mentioned, we've got Oxford Plains coming up later in this season. And Oxford, you have no straightaways really to speak of to set any sort of move up. You just have to make your own moves and make your own gaps.
That you do, and it's going to be fun to see. I'm looking forward to next week. I know that we heard from race winner Bryan Hacker, not a big fan of those big tracks, and well, historically we've known that. That's no secret to you or myself. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what will happen in 1 week's time. 100 laps, a long time at the Iowa Speedway, and we're going to see that strategy come into play in 1 week's time, I do believe. Kelly, it's been a great night of racing for the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series. And we want to thank Renu Sealcoating for their stepping up to being the title sponsor. And for over 20 years, Renu has been protecting and maintaining southern Wisconsin's driveways, parking lots, and playgrounds. With over 75 years of combined asphalt expertise, they treat every customer like family and stand by their work every time. Whether it's your home driveway or a megastore parking lot, Renu Sealcoating has you covered. Call 608-576-7897 or visit Renu Sealcoating for a quote today. I'd like to thank Mad Plowing for their support of the 2025 season, and Mad Plowing gets the job done fast and efficiently, serving Oregon, Wisconsin, and surrounding areas. They are a trusted name for all of your landscaping needs, snow plowing, removal, or anything else you need for your property maintenance. 608-217-3528, and let Mad Plowing show you the meaning of speed. RC2 Graphics Solutions, your events, our designs. RC2 Graphics Solution is your professional source for a graphic design for the racing industry. Whether you need schedules, event flyers, winter graphics, or social media content, they deliver a high-quality design that makes your league or event stand out. Contact them today at rc2graphicsolutions@gmail.com. RC2 Graphics Solutions, your events, our designs. Wizard Designs, specializing in custom-made signs lit with LEDs and crafted with vibrant acrylics. Wizard Designs is where your creativity meets craftsmanship. They've proudly designed the North-South Racing League's award championship trophies for the last 2 seasons running. You can check out their amazing work at facebook.com/Whitco23 or reach on out to David Witkowski at davidwitkowski@yahoo.com. They will bring your ideas to life. Austin Designs. Whether you are in the market for a logo or racing design, check on out with Scott Austin at Austin Designs to get your hot rod looking up to speed. And Kelly, we touched upon this a little bit earlier while we're talking to Bryan Hacker. We do have the Kendall Hacker Memorial coming up in March 30th, I think 31st you said, as they will be doing a special raffle. And you get to choose in. All money proceeds will be helping out Bryan Hacker and his family, along with their oh my god. So anyways, a very, very tough situation for the Hacker family. The honoring Kendall Hacker. That was Bryan and his family's daughter that they very unfortunately lost too early. Bryan Hacker, competitor here, and like you said, we are a huge family of racing, and if you would like to help out with this event, March 31st for the Kendall Hacker Memorial at Oxford Plains, you can take place in a special waffle to support the Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep portraits. You can find out more information about that organization at nowILayMeDownToSleep.org. That provides remembrance photography for grieving families, as well as charities that help the Hacker family in their time of grief. How can you support? Well, enter the waffle, where they're selling laps 0 through 125. They guess how many laps Bryan Hacker will lead that night. Entry details are $5 per lap, or you can get 5 laps for $20, and then they're going to split the pot. 25% of the funds raised are going to go to the person who correctly guesses how many laps Hacker leads, and the other 75% will be split between NowILayMeDownToSleep.org and other charities of Hacker's choosing. So you can contact the North-South Racing League page to get on the list to be a part of this, make donations. Anything will help. We really support this, the NSRL, and our thoughts and prayers are always with Bryan Hacker in this time, along with his family. We love you, Bryan. The NSRL loves you, and we're there for you, Kelly.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation for them, so hopefully we can get a few more people involved in that. I believe we've already got a number of laps sold so far. I mean, Rodney Huntoon has bought a large amount, so has Greg Nichols, Matt Cook, and Scott Austin. I think at the last update, we have a total pot of 200, so 50 to the winner and 150 going to these charity foundations and the Hacker family.
Yeah, so definitely a good thing to get there. So please think about supporting it. I got to get my name on the list. I just got to send them a message to do so. And we hope to see your name on there as well. But until next week, we hope to see you all in Newton, Iowa for the Iowa Speedway's race. But until then, it was Bryan Hacker going to victory lane for the second time in 2025 in the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series right here at Stafford. We hope to see you all next week in Turn 3. Good night, everybody.